fun of filling your home with festive decor, but it's important to be aware of the potential safety risks that are often overlooked. Joining us today is John Dringenberg, Consumer Safety Director at UL, to share tips to help everyone keep safe this holiday season. John, thank you for being with us this morning.
Chad, it's my pleasure to be with you.
Absolutely. All right, so let's start, obviously, the big decoration, the Christmas tree. How are they potential hazards, and more importantly, how can we keep our families safe?
Well, you know, there are at least 10 fires every day during the holiday season where a Christmas tree is burning, and that can be a very hot and dangerous fire. So the best thing you can do when you're shopping for a tree, in the tree lot, run your hand along the branches. If you end up with a handful of needles, the tree is way too dry and you should never bring that tree home. When you do get a fresh tree and one that you like the shape of, make sure they cut an inch or two off the base. That gives you a nice fresh cut and the tree can absorb water. But your job then is to make sure the tree stand is filled with water every day, and sometimes maybe even more than once a day, because in the beginning the trees will absorb a lot of water. But no matter how well you water that tree, the trees will really only last on average about 4 weeks. So plan your holiday festivities around that 4-week limit.
Gotcha. Okay, well, so if we're going the artificial route, artificial Christmas trees, they also pose some fire risks as well, is that right?
You know, that's something that people don't realize. Yes, of course, that is true. There's still a fire hazard if they do get ignited. Now, they might get ignited in a different way and might burn in a different way. But to that extent, UL has done a lot of research, and we gathered a lot of data and came up with new requirements for artificial pre-lit trees. And today, if you're shopping for an artificial pre-lit tree, you can look for ones that carry the UL mark, which means it meets the safety standards.
Okay, so look for that UL mark, important stuff there. All right, so let's talk about holiday lights. You know, we get them off the trees, we line our banisters with them, outdoors, indoors. What should we be looking for in terms of safety?
Well, when you take them out of storage, the first thing you want to do is inspect them. You can use them from year to year if you store them properly, but if you find that you've got broken sockets, if you've got frayed wires, those kind of things can be very dangerous. And it's best to just throw the decoration away and get new UL listed decorations. They're rather inexpensive, relatively speaking, and they're good insurance. So go for the new decorations rather than trying to repair these broken down old decorations that should be thrown away. Also, if you're decorating outside, don't use the metal nails or staples that might seem convenient to you. You can damage the insulation of the wire and present a shock hazard to yourself and your family, or a fire hazard to your house. So be very careful when you do that. Use the plastic hooks that are available in hardware stores and home centers everywhere.
Okay, so now when it comes to entertaining, John, let's talk about that. What are some of the safety concerns that we need to have if we're entertaining guests this holiday season?
If you're having guests over that involves young children, make sure you get down on your hands and knees and look at the house from the perspective of the child. Look for sharp edges, look for open electrical outlets, look for cords hanging down that if a child pull on them, it might cause an injury. Just keep in mind that you're going to have kids around the house, and maybe you don't normally have kids in your house. Be careful with things of that type. Also, the kitchen is a great gathering place when you do have family and friends over, but it may not be the best place to have kids because there's a lot going on there. People cooking, people baking, things of that type. The leading cause of fire in the United States for homes is cooking fires. And that peaks during the holiday season, so you want to be very careful. Now, we know you can't sit there and watch the cookies bake. That's just impossible. But if you do have to leave the kitchen for any reason, take an oven mitt with you. The oven mitt is something that will remind you immediately that you're out in the living room watching TV or talking to guests, but you have something going on in the kitchen. You should go back and check it. So do that frequently, and it will pay big dividends because you won't have an accident. If you need more safety tips, UL's got all kinds of good safety tips on our website at SafeBee, that's BEE.com. Not only for holidays, but all kinds of safety tips. SafeBee.com.
John, these are brilliant tips. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Chad, it's my pleasure. Do have a happy and safe holiday season.
You as well, sir. Thank you. So, folks, again, for more information on SafeBee, head over to casa.com.